Okay, so the other way didn't work, so hopefully this works. Let's do this. Let's go here. And we got people. Hope everybody's doing okay. Or okay, I guess. Something along those lines. I'm kind of sick. Started a new job. So, yeah, that's whatever it is. So, you think Sanity will do well on SmackDown? And who do you see as the star of the group? um, could. I mean, it all depends on booking, really, as far as Sanity goes. I think them not having Nikki Cross kind of sucks. But she's not important to the group, but I think it fills out the group a little better, and she adds an interesting component to the group. So her not being there does kind of suck ass. But it's going to be Eric Young, I would think. I mean, the guy's entertaining. Even if you go back to when he was in TNA, he was always, I would say, no matter what they gave him, he was good. So there you go. She might get a fair shot down there. Probably. I don't know. The women's division WWE is weird. What's the greatest story that you have ever read? Story. What's the greatest story I've ever read? No, the one that I read the quickest that kept my attention, and I read through it super quick way back when. I don't know if I would call it the greatest. Would be To Kill a Mockingbird. So there we go. So I guess. But yeah, I think Cross and SmackDown would be good, I guess. Kurt Angle or Bret Hart. Kurt Angle and Bret Hart in which way? How tall am I? I'm about 5'11". Kurt Angle and Bret Hart. The thing is, I think with Bret Hart, you kind of know what you're gonna get. With Kurt, I think you have a possibility of not getting to where Bret is, but I think you have a higher ceiling. If that makes any sense whatsoever. How would you turn Bayley heel? Bayley heel. How would I turn Bayley heel? I don't think I would. I unless you make her like a bratty little kid, I don't think I would ever make her heel, to be honest. I think that just would not go over very well. So there's that. But I guess we should talk a little bit about Bruno Sammartino. I don't know if anyone's ever actually seen any of his matches. I've only ever seen a few. So I don't know. But I always found, of course, anytime you ever heard him talk, you saw in interviews, he was super interesting. You could see how charismatic he was. And on top of that, he seemed like a really genuine dude. So that's never good when you see someone like that leave us. But if you go back and you look, you could always see that his matches always had like crazy heat. So there's that. The kid thought of the recent big women's angles. Asuka losing women's. She was kind of blah on. She was like, "Why did Asuka lose?" She didn't really get why. And she loves Nia, and she just did not like the Nia Bliss stuff. She's she sees it's weird. She looks at Bliss and she's like, why is Bliss the one that always wrestles and all of this stuff and not Mickey James, when she thinks that, you know, Mickey James is a more interesting in the ring. So who are some indie names you'd bring to WWE if given the chance? Besides Matt Riddle, let's see. Matt Riddle. I'm guessing you mean people outside of WWE. Matt Riddle. I would probably bring in Matt Riddle would probably be the biggest, I would say. I don't think anybody else I would say is is ready or would, I think, have a huge thing. But do you think Roman is beyond repair at this point as a babyface? How would you salvage him? If not, it depends. I think getting all of the people that are going to get cheered off of him, other than him, off of Raw, probably isn't the way to go. I think that the only way you're going to be able to really get him over is you're going to have to find a real heel, and I don't think a lot of those exist. So, but I think him as a heel is much more natural, and I think that you turn him heel, you turn him into then he becomes the cool heel, and then he ends up becoming a babyface anyway. So I don't know why they don't turn him heel, to be honest. Eddie Edwards is a big name that do you think do great in WWE, but I don't know if they give him a first shot. I don't think they give him a shake. I think that's the thing. I don't think they would ever give Eddie Edwards a big. Will become a consistent main eventer draw for New Japan this year. Possibly. It would be like, I would say, if he did, it would probably be like the last year. I mean, people forget how old he is. So there you go. Have you stayed in contact much with Mutant? Not really. I talk to him maybe once every couple of months or so. So there you go. His Jason reign isn't the best. On Suzuki, no, it wasn't. But I don't necessarily blame him for that. I think like it was like something clicked in him, and all of a sudden he became like facing. Well, I'm thinking GHC. I'm thinking Triple Crown. No, it wasn't. But there wasn't a lot in. I'm sure New Japan was very kind of hands-on with him while he was in Noah, which probably sucked. But also, it was missing good opponents. I think was part of it too. If WWE programming wasn't on the USA Network, would anyone even care about that channel at all? Probably. I would think so. There's still stuff on there that I know people watch. So, thoughts on WWE and 2K Games being sued over Randy Orton's tattoos? Apparently, this also a thing with the NBA games too. So, it is what it is. I mean, it would. That's something for somebody that probably understands that stuff a lot more than me. I mean, creative copyright infringement is one of those weird things. Some things matter, some things don't. So, Hunter Suzuki has the best theme music currently. Yes, I don't think that's. Do you think within our lifetime wrestling will reach the Attitude Era or even the Golden Era of level of popularity? Possibly. It just depends. So, have you stayed up to date with the Lucha Underground? I'm in season 3 and loving it. Yes, I have. It's gotten very strange. Hopefully, this next season. I don't follow the spoilers with it because it's just like here's a bunch of match spoilers and then you don't really know a lot of stuff going on, and I usually forget anyways. But yeah, I mean it's weird. It's definitely not for everybody. They need to probably dial it back a little bit on the storylines and keep it more focused on in ring, because as far as in ring, it probably is the best TV show. So. Which was the best Okada versus Omega match out of the 3 matches they have had, in your opinion? I would say I'll go with the second, but you could ask me like 3 months from now, and I'd probably say like the first. I think it's one of those things. It depends on what day of the week it is. So there is always that. Oh my lord! Getting the most retweets ever on my Twitter account because of something I said about Neil Gaiman. So that's kind of cool. But anyways, so what else is going on? So we had the Superstar Shakeup. That was what it was, I guess. You know, it looked like Raw was going to get everybody, and they didn't. You know, it's weird what they did. It's weird what they did with SmackDown. SmackDown should at least be enjoyable to watch. I would hope. If it's not enjoyable to watch, then something's very, very, very wrong with everyone they have on there. Let's see. What is the most underrated year in wrestling you've watched that others don't talk about? Underrated year? Oh man, I don't know. I don't know. I'll throw out 2006 maybe is something that a lot of people talk about. So just because you had lots of good stuff going on in lots of different places. The very, very best wasn't as good as now, but there seemed to be a lot. There seemed to be a lot of good, but now you got like so much. It's like I don't know. I don't know if there's what I would say. I could pick out a year that I would say would be underrated. Do you think Lashley versus Lesnar will really draw if it happens? I think it would draw. I don't think it will ever happen though. Who do you see coming WWE first? Kenny Omega or Cody? Probably Cody, I would think. So there we go. Triple H will put out a better product than Vince, but Triple H does have some bias that could hinder great decisions. Let's not forget Triple H is the guy who wanted to sabotage careers like Rock, RVD. Yeah, but that's when he was wrestling. I think that's the difference. It's now he's only concerned about putting on the best product and not about his spot. I think that's kind of the figure. Do you see Impact Wrestling getting better? Possibly. It's from what I've seen, it's gotten better. So there we go. The best and worst comic book storylines you've read. The worst, I will say, was the Clone Saga from Spider-Man. The best was, I think it's the third story. It's either the third or fourth storyline in Miracle Man was probably the best. I can still go back and read it. It's the one where Miracle Man's old kid sidekick basically turns evil and he has to kill him. So it sucks. It's not when he turns evil, it's when he comes back from being evil. So that might be the fourth storyline. When will Okada finally lose the belt and who will he lose it to? I have no idea, but I figure that when he loses it, it's going to probably be maybe an upset sort of thing as a way to make somebody. I could see that being it. During your YouTube absence, did you enjoy any of the tournaments? UK Championship. UK Championship was okay. Cruiserweight Classic was extremely good. Mae Young Classic was not as good as the Cruiserweight Classic. I didn't enjoy as much, but I think it was because it wasn't separated out as well. So, do you think Triple H will partner with other companies or destroy them? I think it depends on the company and if he sees them as competition or not. Thoughts on the Spider-Man storyline, Brand New Day? I will not talk about that. I don't know what storyline you're talking about because that completely ruined Spider-Man. So I don't talk about that. What are your thoughts on Jinder Mahal losing the belt? He lost the belt. I don't have any thoughts on it. I'm not a big Jinder fan. So, you know, it put Jeff Hardy on SmackDown. So there was that. Who would you like to see as a 2019 WWE Hall of Fame headliner? I'm not big on the WWE Hall of Fame, but as a headliner, I don't even know who you would get to headline the WWE Hall of Fame. Who's somebody that you could get to headline? I don't know. I can't really think of anybody. I know who I'd like to see them. I'd like to see them put in Jerry Jarrett, but that's just me. Any UFC fights you're looking forward to this year? Assuming Konda fights Khabib, who would you have in that fight? I would have Khabib. I don't think Khabib would do what he did in the last fight. I think he did. I think he stood in the last fight because he felt like he could. I think against Conor, I think he's just gonna take him down and destroy him. But that's really the only fight I can think of that would really look forward to. Would you rather endure the new 52 or the Century? Century. I don't know. Maybe the new 52. Maybe. I don't know. The Century's not too horrible. So, and they're about maybe the Century. There's a lot of the new 52 that I just did not like at all. With WWE having a few wrestlers with UFC and backgrounds, will they bring back the Lions Den match? They could. I don't think you have anyone that would be as good in it, though, to be honest. Thoughts on the X-Men Fantastic Four possibly coming in Phase 4? I talked about this in the last video. I definitely think that's happening, and I think what's going to happen at the end of the next, not Infinity War, but the next Avengers movie after Infinity War is basically you get House of M, and Peter wakes up and he walks out, and Uncle Ben is still alive. They're in like this big giant mansion, and on this big giant TV you have Magneto giving a speech. That's what I think. What wrestling footage do you want to see added to the WWE Network? I want more I want like the big ECW shows that they do not have on the network. That's what I want. Other than a lot of the regional stuff that they haven't added. What are the odds you would put on Brian still leaving at the end of his contract in September, regardless of now being clear? I think it all depends on how he feels like he's being used. If he feels like he's not being used properly, I think he leaves. So there you go. How many more matches do you suppose Angle will get? Will have? Also, do you think? I don't think he's going to have very many at all, if at all. Maybe one a year. Also, do you think he drastically lowered his spot on the all-time list by wasting a chunk of his career in TNA versus what he could have done in WWE? Maybe. I mean, the WWE wasn't going to use him. It's not like he wasted his time. I mean, look, it took, how long was he out of, like, it took a long time before anyone thought he was going to come back to WWE. So there you go. Have you ever played the booking game? Yes, I have. Extreme, like, Total Extreme Wrestling. I think but yeah, I think when I played, I've played it a couple times. It's fun. It's interesting. Do you watch or keep up with any of today's wrestling YouTube channels? If I do not. Interesting. I was thinking Doom would be MCU's next major threat. After you do House of M, then you could do Doom. I can see that. Or Doom, you could you could redo House of M just as long as you kind of do the House of M thing. But I could definitely see I think you do like a 2-movie House of M thing and then be on your way. So there you go. But as I was talking about before with SmackDown, I think the fact that you have like a whole load of just matches that people want to see, as long as they don't burn through them. This is WWE, so they're going to burn through them. It should be very interesting. I do find it interesting that they did move Asuka to SmackDown. I guess that will give her and Charlotte something to do for a while. So there's that. What else happened that I thought was kind of interesting and whatnot? Can't think of really anything else that's maybe going on. Oh, somebody asked about my daughter. No, she'll probably do another one again. The problem really is my work schedule versus her school schedule. So that makes it kind of hard for both of us to do videos. But actually, it might make it easier. I don't know. It just depends. She's like hot and cold. Like some stuff she wants to watch, some stuff she doesn't. So With the new SmackDown roster, what do you think? What do you do if Nakamura keeps blowing it in big match performances? Keep going. I would say. I think as long as he can keep people hyped and people like him, and he can go out and at least kind of put on, okay or pretty good matches, I think it'll be fine because his interest is so crazy over, and that's all that really matters. As much as people want to buy his merchandise and all that. Who will win the greatest Royal Rumble match? I have no idea because I don't even know what's at stake. So who knows? If SmackDown Live starter suppresses Raw amongst the fans, does Vince raid SmackDown again? I don't see that happening, but I mean, could be. Is ROH World Champion? I'm not happy with how he's been booked. Your thoughts on Castle? I like Castle. I think the thing with Castle is that I think when he became champion, and they kind of did this, he needed to be a little bit more serious, but they've still kind of kept him goofy. And I think that they put him in longer matches than he really needs to be. Not that he doesn't need to be in 20-minute matches, but I think you could easily put him in 15-minute matches, and I think his matches would work a little better. But back to the SmackDown. I don't think. I mean, SmackDown could get better, but I don't think it's going to do better in the ratings unless something completely crazy happens. But I don't see that as a possibility. SmackDown finally replaced the Road Dogg in creative, and if so, does Ryan Ward get back to creative or someone else? Probably somebody else. I would think if it was if I I would love to see somebody better, but I don't think you're gonna get a Vince Yes Man, and that's part of the problem. Do you think John Cena will have longevity in Hollywood, or will his success be short-lived? I think it depends. I think he has to pick like the right stuff. I think him in comedies works, so there you go. I think Goofy is where Castle thrives. I've followed him since around when he was in 2CW up here, upstate New York. I see him as a great mix of Goofy and great wrestling. If this big cast Bryan Danielson feud going to damper Dragon's comeback, and would you think Cass is in line for the next 4? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. If that's true, it is what it is. That's what I meant about as far as I could see him leaving if he sees himself not being used properly. So, where he could go somewhere else, not make as much money, but probably still make good money and actually enjoy what he's doing. Who was WWE? Who will Robbie Ray next to fill up NXT? Probably. I don't know, because the thing is that's my one thing with Evolve is that's what Evolve is supposed to be. Besides, bringing in guys from like New Japan, I guess, but as for draws, so that NXT works as far as that part of it goes. But that's what Evolve was supposed to be, and I think part of it is because Evolve has done such a shit job of creating anyone anywhere wants to spend money to watch, other than Riddle, and I would say that they probably didn't have a lot to do with that. I don't know. I mean, I guess New Japan. I guess that's who if they wanted to raid somebody. Ever heard of 2CW when they were in business a few years ago? I heard of them. I never saw in them. With this WWE run entering year 3, is AJ's resume enough to be considered a top 20 guy or even a top time in your books? I wouldn't say top 10. I don't know about top 20 either. I'd have to sit down and really think about that. I don't think so. I mean, that's a lot of dudes you're talking about. I mean, that's a lot of dudes that you're having him kind of jump in. I think it's possible. I will say that. I'm not going, no, not a bit. I'd have to sit down and think. I don't want to say yes because you're talking about a lot of dudes that probably, Do you think Cass was a hired gun for Miz to take? It could be. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So I guess we'll know next week. I guess that makes it somewhat interesting finding out exactly where he's probably top 1. Oh, he's definitely top 100. I'd say he's probably top 40, probably. So I just wouldn't say top 20. That's a lot of dudes. That's a lot of dudes. That's a lot, you know. But considering his lack of desire to give up, at least moderate pot usage, can you see Matt Riddle outlasting Young Bucks in terms of not going? Possibly, unless WWE decides not to test for that anymore, which I could definitely see. I mean, the issue with it is I think they're afraid of it's a publicity thing. So there we go. What's the turnover rate in the WWE roster? Not enough. They need to turn over more dudes. When dudes start getting stale and they start running out of ideas for guys, they shouldn't just hang on to the guys. They should kind of just let them go for the most part. In ring work, okay, but overall package of a pro wrestler, probably top 100. What? I'm saying he's top 100. You mean AJ? AJ's definitely top 100. I'm saying that he's probably top 50. So, are you a fan of AR Fox? Yeah. Once I did a crazy backflip off of basketball for years back. Yeah. I wish he was a little bit more charismatic, but I mean, he's really, really good as kill shot, which says something. So there. Will we ever see an AJ versus Balor feud over leadership of the club like we are Kennedy? That's possible, but I don't. There's not enough people. You've only got really 4 people, and none of them are on the same brand, so I wouldn't think so. Have you watched Krypton yet? I have not. Have not. I don't watch a lot of TV, to be honest. Since the bar's on SmackDown, I'm guessing Bray and Matt are a safe bet to win the Thunder. I would imagine so. I think that's good. I think that gives you at least an entertaining team on, and especially if that's a very long-term storyline that leads to other things within the Matt Bray thing, I think that's fine. Did you see the Andre the Giant doc? I have not seen it. No. I don't know if I will. So Samoa should beat AJ for the title, possibly. I mean, I would be fine with that, but I think he has a chance of really being much better on SmackDown just because you've got everybody, and I don't think any was super protected on SmackDown. Answered this before, but CM Punk in a WWE ring again, I will say 90% no on CM Punk ever going back to WWE. I don't see that necessarily ever happening. With the Rumble in 2017 and now 19 in bigger stadiums, do you figure Rumbles are maybe future SummerSlams running stadiums like Mania does? Yes, I could definitely see that. Definitely SummerSlam. How hyped would you like to see Joe versus RG1? Awesome. I don't think we'll ever see it, but that would be absolutely awesome. Who should be Aleister Black for the NXT Championship? Let's see who's still there. Because they keep it. I don't know. I don't really know. There's no one that right off the top of my head, so I would not say Velveteen Dream. No. Whenever he's in, like, he was in a really good. His matches are hit or miss. They're either really good or he gets lost really easy. Everybody goes back to WWE. What makes the CM Punk so different? Because of the way he left. And there seems to be a lot of still bad blood. What a shame he was so over. It was insane. Punk and Bryan are the top 2 guys that have Attitude Era pops. Yeah. I mean, I think it was short-sighted of them, but I'd actually like to see Gargano and Cole feud for the NXT title to give that. I think that would be good. I think that would, but it'll probably be Cole and Ricochet, unless Ricochet gets crazy over really fast, which is completely opposite, which is completely possible. And then, yeah. One dream match would you like to see amongst today's wrestlers? I would like to see Joe versus Suzuki. I will say that. Tommaso should defeat Aleister Black. I could see. The thing is that everybody's just kind of like there now. So I don't feel like anybody's as hot as Aleister Black right now. So it makes it kind of difficult. I guess EC3 would work as a heel. So does anybody using the diving headbutt now make you cringe with what's happened to Dynamite and etc.? I know it makes me a little bit. It makes me kind of but I know there's apparently, if you do it right, if you like protect yourself and not do, you can probably do it sometimes. Who is the most recent WWE signing that surprised you when they got signed but proved themselves to you over time? Eric Young, probably, I would say. Is WWE trying to keep Rusev from becoming the next Daniel Bryan? I don't know what they're doing with Rusev. I have no idea. I mean, part of that is they get mad at him and his wife often, and who knows. But do you watch Stardom? I do not watch Stardom. I know LV would get mad at me, but no, I don't have time to watch Stardom. But from what I've seen of it, it's good. It's very good. But yeah. What was your reaction seeing Daniel Bryan getting squashed at WrestleMania 28? I believe I probably have a video of it somewhere. I was pretty pissed off. Did you watch Glow? Yes, actually, way back in the day, the series. No, I had not watched it. I watched the original Glow way back when. What's the next wrestling show you're planning on attending? I have no idea, to be honest. Have you heard Smallville's Marker is the second in command of A6 that brand women? I've never heard that. No, that seems very strange. But let's see what else we got going on here. Let's see what else is going on in the world of wrestling. I guess that's pretty much it. I guess Avengers will be out somewhat soon, right? The movie. That should be fun, I think. Hope people are gonna die. Oh, I heard there was comedy. I don't know about comedy in that movie, but it is what it is, I guess. Do you think they'll do Lesnar versus Daniel Bryan? If Lesnar's around, maybe, but we'll see. We will see if they do anything special with Daniel Bryan. I think that's not something that could happen. Could happen, I guess. I don't know. Has Alberto Del Rio burned his bridges with wrestling in the U.S.? I think he's burned his bridges with everybody everywhere. So there, I'm sorry, but Roman is garbage. I'm not even being a mark. The guy is awful at promos and his bench that bugs me. People need to accept that he's for everyone, and the guy just doesn't have it. He's not the best on promos. I will give you that. I do think he, but I think he's pretty good in the ring. His moves, I can see that. But his promos, I think that was that's one of the things I don't get with them pairing him up with Joe, which is he's probably the best promo in WWE, and then you pair him with Joe, and it's like no matter if Joe's supposed to get over or not, he's going to sound better on a promo than him. So, yeah. I think Miz will be at SummerSlam. Who do you think will be the first to defeat Ronda Rousey? Stephanie. I don't think he's terrible in the ring. Will we see Sexy Star on Impact? I very seriously doubt it. I very seriously doubt it because there's at least 3 women I can think of. It would probably be like, fuck this and leave. The spear and running power slam. That what does Lashley use as a finisher now? The Dominator again, or something else? I don't know. I guess we'll see. I could see him using SummerSlam. I could actually maybe they'll give him like maybe they'll give him like a submission or something to kind of make him. But we'll see. I'm going to puke. Yep, I would too, but I could definitely see them doing that, dependent because of where they want to go. Why is my phone going off? Okay. Are you concerned about the way Dark Side will be treated in the DCUA? Maybe. The one thing that I hope that Marvel does with Thanos, and it looks like they may be doing this because they did the whole snap thing. I hope they explain that he doesn't want to like recreate the universe in his own image, or that he's this like tyrant that wants to rule the universe. It's the fact that he is actually in love with the aspect of death, and that he's doing everything to appease her, and he's kind of more like a cult type, just evil upon evil in a lot of ways. I have an idea. Joe wins the title from AJ at SummerSlam, goes on to dominate, run as champion, and Daniel Bryan beats Joe. That would work. That would be cool. Or you could do the opposite. You could have Bryan win. You do Joe and Daniel at SummerSlam, and then do Joe and AJ on a really big stage. That would be kind of cool. Hi, how have you been, Junior? Have you been Al Bundy Jr.? I was caught off guard, you being a stepfather. Now, by the way, what will it take for you to ever visit California? My wife really actually wants to go to California. We have actually a lot of friends in California that we would like to visit. Money, for the most part, would be the big thing, and time. The 2 kids kind of gets in the way. So, and okay. I predict that in 10 years, 90% of the current wrestlers on the WWE roster won't be with the company anymore. In 10 years? Yeah, possibility. Are you liking heel Nakamura? So far, yes, because I always like heel Nakamura. I think heel Nakamura is the best Nakamura. Cesaro is one of 2 women that I could live with never seeing in wrestling again. The other, Christina Von Eerie, based on how she acted at a 2CW show. And Christina Von Eerie, though, is people seem to actually like her, though. Thoughts on Dolph and Drew teaming on Raw? They have a good combo finishers, and probably no one would care to see them have. I would agree with that. I think they make a good tag team just because you give them something to do. Imagine that. You put guys who you don't know what to do with in a tag team, and it works. So apparently all you have to do to get a title match is to repeatedly punch the champion in the nuts to get a title shot. Apparently, which Avenger would Thanos kill? In the Infinity War, I figure Vision is dead. I'm gonna say Thor. I think everybody else is probably maybe Peter. Maybe Peter will die. He died in the original, which would shock everybody. But his death scene was also very cool if you kind of get the character. And I could see them doing that. I think I have a feeling they're going to take a lot of the people are going to go back in time, and you're going to get like where like Captain America, kind of his group are going to go back in time, so that he finally gets his dance that he's never gotten. So there you go. How do you think they should handle the Undisputed Era on the main roster? It depends on, by the time they get to the main roster, who's on the main roster. I would I think I don't know. I would just do them as a heel group that just all they're there to do is to protect Cole. So, but it depends on who's going to be on there as well. What's the best MCU movie? Um, hmm, probably. I really like Civil War. I really do. But Winter Soldier, I would say, isn't too far uh, removed. Why do you think WB has moved away from storylines and crafting characters and have shifted to pure in-ring work? This is one area Russo is spot on about. WB needs to go back to writing good shows. They don't know how to write good shows. Neither does Russo, because what they consider a good show is what was good 20 years ago, and TV has completely progressed and has completely gone by what they know how to do. And yeah, who will be the next WWE guy to jump on the indies and international scene? I have no idea. Excuse me. What's left for the New Day? To sell a lot more uh, merchandise, I would say. Look behind me. Why? Hill Nakamura equals Chaos Nakamura. Doctor Strange. If WWE was to ask you for your opinion, what type of original shows would you suggest to have on the network? More stuff of people talking about history, but my only issue with that, and this is my big thing, is I don't want it through WWE narrative. I want my hands off, like them. That's what I would like to see more of. So there you go. With the ROH connection to youth, do you think eventually it will be revealed that Nigel is the real mastermind? Could be. I could see that. Do you think that the Authors of Pain will get a major push to be the next tag team champions or end up back in NXT? I think they will get a push. We will see how well it goes over. Loki finally replaces Mist in the Marvel Universe and finally becomes king. All hail the mighty Loki. Do you think the Preacher would be better if it was on an uncensored network like HBO? No, I don't, because then I think they would do all the crazy shit you don't need to do on the show, like the second storyline, which keep that away. And we're getting all the major stuff in Preacher, so that's fine. Apollo Crews should be the next WWE guy to go elsewhere. I would agree with that. Thoughts on Bruce Pritchard having his own podcast on the WWE Network? Honestly, I think it's pointless. It's simply a way for them to have a guy on the network who can spew their side of history and what they want. So there you go. How would you book Hollywood Cena? How would I book Hollywood Cena? I guess basically just have him come out and cut the promo that everyone has wanted him to cut forever. So, and then I would even go as far as, say that, it was all an act. All of the even the Miracle Network stuff was all just like an act that he never really meant it. Blah, 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 blah. Is the Nigel Masterman thing is actually a good idea. Can't remember if you game or not. If so, what are you talking for? You're talking video games? We're talking video games. Currently, I play, for the most part, I play Battle Chasers right now. I play Darkest Dungeon. I play an MMO called The Secret World, and I'll be playing BattleTech once it gets released. So those would be my four. Have you seen Nigel McGuinness's documentary? Yes, I have. It's very good. Everyone should go and watch it. What's your favorite board game? Kingdom Death Monster. No question. It's expensive as all get out. You could probably buy 5 other really great board games for the same price, but it is an amazing game. It's my favorite game, but it is extremely hard to get. So let's not say that one. Let's say, let's see, what's my second favorite? Would be, let's see, board game, so not a miniatures game. Space Hulk, the card game is really good too, but that one's hard to find because it's not in release anymore. What's another really good one? See, I play a lot of Walking Dead All Out War, so that's really good. But that's more of a miniatures game, so. And X-Wing. I play a lot of X-Wing, but again, that's more of a miniatures game. Wow. Okay, so there we go. Trying to think of the last. Oh, Fire Team Zero. That is an awesome game. So there we go. Hate that I can't be CW due to issues with my local signal, but has the Gentleman Ghost made an appearance yet? Huh? I can't. Gentleman Ghost. Wow, Secret World is online. How is it? It's very good. I mean, it's an MMO. But it's one of the things I like the fact that it's Cthulhu-esque because I love all things Lovecraftian. But it's also very easy to solo, and that's my big thing. And it's free for the most part. So there you go. I don't think Cena is ever going to get the respect he deserves unless he turns heels. That's probably true. What company would you like to see make a Wrestle Kingdom game? Capcom. No, not Capcom. Bandai? No, Konami. Is it Konami? Who made the who makes oh, I can't think of the name of the thing. I can't think of it. The team Ninja people, whoever that is, that's who should make a wrestling game. So I don't think what company would you like to see? WrestleMania 10 is straight up the greatest. WrestleMania, right? Way better in the ring, match the game, but still with all the great top. I don't know. There's parts of 19 that it's not the same. It's not the same type. It doesn't feel like an event to me, as big as an event. So, would WWE ever get someone else other than Roman Reigns to co-headline the main event of WrestleMania? Since it seems like he has been there every year now. I hope so, but I guess we'll see. Besides the big 4 pay-per-views, do you think they should change the names of the pay-per-views and come up with better names? Yes, I do. Do you read the Walking Dead comics? No, I actually do not like the zombie stuff. I have the miniatures game because the miniatures game you can actually, and it's Walking Dead All Out War. There's a bunch of different Walking Dead games. If you get the prelude to I can't think of it. It's prelude to Woodbury. Prelude to that gives you solo rules, and it is a lot of fun, especially if you like miniatures type games. Cena breaking up with Nikki is turning him heel. Yeah, well, if you ever watch Total Divas, my stepdaughter and my wife watch it every once in a while. He's like the biggest heel on the show. So, who is one wrestler that is usually liked by the majority that you just change the channel every time he'd come on? Let's see. I'm trying to think of someone that was ever like that. The NWO got like that for me really quick. But that's all I can. That's pretty much DOA. Yes, DOA is what I was thinking of. Yes, Tecmo. Yes, they should make a Wrestle Kingdom game. That would be the stuff. Do you think they will, or you know what, Sega as well with the virtual system? If you actually they had a wrestling game based on All Japan that was freaking amazing. Um, do you think they will put Roman in the WrestleMania main event again? Probably. Gentleman Ghost DC, most incredible, awesome villain. Has he appeared in a movie or one of the CW series? No, he has not. I don't think so. I would think I would know that. I don't think so. What should main event WrestleMania 35 and why? Ronda and either Charlotte or Asuka, depending on the way they do it. I think that would be pretty good. What are some ROH matches I should check out? Like, I would say any of their ladder matches over the last 2 years. Oops, I mean Kenny Omega as ROH World Champion. Huh? What? I'm lost. Okay. Hey, what are your honest thoughts on Vince Russo Cornette beef? I think Cornette keeps falling into the hole of the trap that is the Vince Russo beef, because I think as long as that goes on, Vince Russo will never really go away. Ton of rumors going around about Virtual Fighter 6. Virtual Fighter 6, I would be all about that. Game of Thrones fan, books or show? Yes, I'm a huge fan. I've been reading the books since I think the second book came out. Is when I've been, so I waited a long ass time for last season. I waited a long ass time for last season. Um, the thing is if you've read the books, there's a lot of stuff that the TV show made surprising that if you read the books wasn't surprising, because it was all kind of there. For example, who John is. That you knew, if you were paying attention, you knew in book 2 who John was. As they started laying hits in book 1 about like stuff, if you kind of connected the pieces between Danny and him, exactly who he was and kind of the backstory and everything, it made sense. So there you go. But yes, I love it. I most of the changes they've made to the TV series though are dead on. I want the next book out because it's very evident to me the last season was basically they got the, I would say, like the like basically the synopsis of what kind of the next book was without a lot of the details. And so that's just, they just went with that instead of like adding details, which probably, will serve, the book fans a little better. If you want WWE to have the most awkward episode of Table of Three, who would you have on the show? I would put most awkward. We'll say Dean Ambrose, Jim Cornette, and who was the third category? And Michael Cole, I guess. I don't know. There we go. Should WWE have built around Seth Rollins instead of Roman Reigns? I don't think so. Yes, yes, yeah. What was worse, the finger poke of doom or David Arquette winning the title? I think the thing with the finger poke of doom, I mean, both of them are pretty bad. The thing with finger poke is it made it evident that the NWO angle wasn't going to end when it needed to end. The Arquette thing was, it was already pretty bad by the time you got to the Arquette thing. He was my dog Ghost. Why does Cornette have this huge hate for Russo? He's hated Russo since the day he met him. Um, he just is not a big fan of of how Russo sees everything. I think it's just I think there's a lot of that, and I can get that. I'm sure Russo can come off of being pretty crazy. I gotta blow my nose. I'm sorry. Ah, that's better. Trying this again. Do you think it's high time to have Kenny Omega as the art? The thing is that it probably would makes the booking of him in New Japan a little weird. So I'm sure that's probably why. Do you think that Goldberg? But I would if he was in ROH more, sure. Do you think that Goldberg was disrespected in WWE Hall of Fame since pictures online had showed that many of the crowd, including fellow talent, had left the audience by the time he was on stage? I mean, they disrespected him the first time he was there, so that doesn't surprise me. I can't believe that 2008 was 10 years ago. Damn, man. Any thoughts on 2000? It's been a while. I mean, and it's crazy to think about the fact that if you look at WWE and who's in WWE, and that so many of us were proven right about so many of the things that we said. So I think that's cool. Thoughts on Austin Aries winning and collecting accounts? I kind of like that. I like the gimmick. I like the fact that um, it's something different. It shows that they're trying to do something different. So there he goes. Personally, I think Jesse the Body Ventura was the best commentator of all time. He was just hilarious, especially with the Uncle Elmer wedding. Who is your personal favorite commentator? He'd be up there. I really like Joey Styles as well. So that and JR in his prime. Of course, I grew up with um, yeah, he that probably JR in his prime. Um, Austin Aries is a modern day Ultimate Dragon. Possibly, if you could bring in one performer other than Kenny Omega from New Japan to WWE, who would it be? I think um, hmm, I wouldn't bring in one. I would bring in the Gorillas of Destiny. I think they would actually be really good in in WWE with the belt gimmick. I mean, what do you think WWE would have done if Cena had the same injury that Austin had in '99 and was out for a year? For example, let's say 2012, this happened. I have no idea. They would have, I guess, probably would have just put the whole company around Orton. I think that's what they would do, but I couldn't say for sure. So very cool. Thank you. You guys got any thoughts on the greatest Royal Rumble at all? I'm sure hoping they got more than 20 million to do this show, because you could go to Europe and probably make that much money. Why do you think we never got Sting versus Taker? Because WWE didn't want to do Sting versus Taker, which is stupid because that's money. So yeah, I think that was very stupid. Do you like what they're doing with Bray Wyatt? Right now, yeah, I think that's good. What stadium do you want to see host WrestleMania? I want them in Las Vegas. Damn it, that's where I want them. Um, Vegas would be good. So, Nick Nakamura versus AJ is going to be. Do you think is going to be better than the WrestleMania match. I would hope so. I would hope so. What if Brock Lesnar would not have left in 04? Where would the WWE be right now? I don't know. I think eventually he would have gotten upset. I think probably the same place, I would think. So watch the WWE. Haven't watched WWE in a long time. What is Rusev Day? Basically just Rusev trying to get over. So that's the best way to do it today is Rusev Day. What do you think is better right now? CMLL, Triple A, or Lucha Underground? CMLL, Triple A is, and Lucha Underground is not everything. Do you think Reigns will join Lesnar at the Greatest Royal Rumble or win by escaping the pin? No, I think he pins him. Unless I guess we'll see. Stream, I'm not sure if it's been asked, but what do you think of the shakeup? I think the shakeup was interesting, made SmackDown interesting. I'll actually want to watch SmackDown at least for a while. So, who's your favorite tag team out of Canada? Out of Canada, out of Canada. I don't know, to be honest. I guess it would be Steen and Generico, I guess. Blind hate for Russo is moronic. Anyone listen? Russo put Russo together. He has good ideas. The problem is they need to be filtered with Russo. That's the problem. And then so will we ever have a woman? Will we ever have a woman shoe salesman as a gimmick? Probably not. WWE have had empty arenas. I think it's a sad sight. Also, I've been a fan for years since I seen the Cena haters videos. My stepdaughter really likes the Cena hater videos, so especially the anti-Slayer ones. She really likes those for some weird reason. Just on each other's podcasts. Thoughts on Sami Zayn as a heel? He proved a lot of people wrong because a bunch of people were saying that he doesn't have any charisma. I don't think anyone ever said he didn't have a lot of charisma. I don't know anyone that said he didn't have charisma. That seems weird. Do you like War Machine's new names? It's all right. What's the best heel turn of all time? The Andre heel turn is pretty good. The Rock heel team. Well, the Rock heel turn is probably pretty damn good. Those are the ones that really stick out. The Hogan one, I guess the Hogan heel turn was really good too. So SmackDown will celebrate their 100th episode. What should they do for that episode? I don't know. They never do good with those, so I don't know. Have you played Fire Pro Wrestling World? If so, do you love it as much as Fire? I have. I actually I like everything about the game except for one thing. And I know this can be fixed if I go in and do stuff, but I don't like the fact that there's not a way already built into the game. And I get part of it's with Steam, but there needs to be an easier way to add like creator wrestlers. Way too hard. That's my biggest complaint. Break up the Mega Powers was good. I'm saying that he was a vanilla midget and looks like an Uber driver. And I don't know what they're talking about. I find it hilarious Nakamura's going around low-blowing AJ Styles. How long do you see him doing that? Who knows? What's wrong with Sammy is he has no personality character. What is it? No. What? I would not agree with that at all. He has lots of personality. That's why if he didn't have personality, he wouldn't be able to get over with a mask on. So, completely disagree with that. Do you think the new XFL will succeed? Nope. I will be shocked if it ever even gets a game played. He's Sami Zayn. He doesn't need a character. He's just Sami Zayn. What? Flair turning on Dusty was a great heel turn. I guess. Every bit these days. That's stupid then. When did the Simpsons jump the shark? I don't know. 10 years ago maybe, which says something, but I mean, it is what it is. What was your best WWE year between, in your opinion? Probably 96. I mean, that was pretty for a long time, so I would say, yeah, probably 96. 96. Hello, sir. How you doing? You're late. Why did the AWA fail? Because they didn't push any new guys. That's why they failed. If they had pushed like new guys much sooner, they probably would have done very well. You missed all sorts of stuff. You missed me ranting about the fact that I'm right. You're going to see I'm right. They're going to do House of M. Aside from video games, do you play or have played other types of games, tabletop or card games? Yes. I have a huge, giant stack of. I have a wall over there somewhere, packed with video games, or board games. But yes, I love. I'm not so big into card games. Card games, depends. Like Lord of the Rings card, like the living card game, right? Yeah, the living card game is. I like that. For the most part, I like the okay. So I like the way that the Lord of the Rings card game is set up as far as expansions and stuff. I like the mechanics of the Pathfinder card games much more. And the people that made that made a horror game that I like a lot that I kickstarted. And then I love tabletop, which I talked about before. Kingdom Death is probably my favorite right now, but I have so many that it's not even funny. Guys, or just naturally over guys like Brian, but it's obvious someone like Sammy is missing something to make him a draw. He doesn't have to be a draw. He just has to be, I mean, different guys do different things. Thoughts on Battlestar Galactica and why did it suck? What, the new one or the old one? I love the old one. Like the new one for the most part too, until they and love the ending of them. So, best year in the Attitude Era. Probably that. I'll say 99, probably. Only card game. Oh, actually, 2000 would be the one. Only card game play is Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh is pretty good though. What's crazy about Yu-Gi-Oh is it was a card game that they made from a video game that was never supposed to be a card game. So that's the only thing. Thoughts on Bob's Burgers and why it's so awesome. I don't watch Bob's Burgers, so couldn't tell you. Do you think the Goldust character? What did you like? I get why he did. I always thought it was pretty. I always liked the character, but I liked the movie references. I thought he was different, so I liked that. Simpsons season 111. Nothing else matters after that point. Do you read any of the Dynamite series Battlestar Galactica? No, I have not. Have you played Settlers of Catan? I played it many years ago. It's good. It's a good game. It's a good game to start people out with if you want to get them in stuff that's not, what you grew up with, like Risk or Monopoly. So, do you watch South Park? No, I used to eons ago. I'm sure they still probably, do funny stuff because they're usually a little bit more on point, I would say, than the Simpsons guys. Oh, and Bob's Burgers is but yeah, other than that, I want to see Boogeyman and the Greatest War Mobile. I could see that. There's like 50 dudes. I don't know where they're going to get 50 dudes from. That's a lot of dudes. That's a lot of dudes. I did not get Action Comics 1000. I did not. Is it good? Yes or no? What's your favorite non-Fire Pro Wrestling game of all time? My favorite is one that probably no one has played, which is All Japan featuring Virtua, because it's more of an actually video game. It's more of a fighting game, and I actually enjoy it a lot. So, what is the worst comic book movie in the past 10 years? 10 years, 10 years, 10 years. What's the worst? I guess Green Lantern. I guess. Yes, Gravity Falls is the most awesome shit ever. Movie of The Rock. Most aren't that good. I can't lie. Wasn't he in what was like the first movie he was in where he played like, I think was he gay? I think like a gay hitman or something, or a bodyguard or something like that with John Travolta. I think that's probably the one I like the most. I would say it was the best. Catan can get very competitive and has caused fan arguments with friends. I'm sure you know it. Yes, I know. Yeah. Are you a fan of the Shadow pulps? Yes. Yes, I am actually. And the Spider and Doc Savage, and as Markeem could easily tell you, I like all that stuff. Where it's at. It's nah, man. You forgot Jonah Hex. Still pissed off about. Oh yeah, I did forget about Jonah Hex. I forgot about Jonah Hex, which most people probably have not seen, which should tell you how bad. If Green Lantern is Jonah Hex is worse than Green Lantern, that should tell you something. And I'm sure I'm forgetting something. I'm sure there's probably something out there that was really, really bad because League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is not within the last 10 years. That is a screaming pile of dog shit. I think PS Power still makes videos, oddly enough. I have not seen it yet. So, I mean, I like the first movie, but I'm not in love with it as much as a lot of other people are. To me, the Fast and Furious movies have worn out their welcome, but I'm looking forward to the Rock Jason spinoff movie that is in the works. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I think they've here, I think they've worn out their welcome, but worldwide, I think people still really like them. So we're probably gonna, I could be wrong, but the Spirit, yeah, the Spirit's good too. Do you listen to something to wrestle with? I've listened a couple of times. It's like, eh. I mean, it's good, but it's also, eh. What do you think of Candace versus? Yeah, we're not getting it, so I mean, it would be cool, but we're not going to get it. Would you ever get a tattoo? Yes, I would. Another question: what will they do with the spinoff? I figured the spinoff is going to be the prequels, which are the Dunk and Egg Chronicles, which they kind of talked about. Sir Duncan, if you go back and Joffrey is talking to his uncle, and he's talking about the fact that the Sir Duncan character, which is about Aegon. So I could definitely see them doing that. I'll be 30 years old on November 2017. Is there something wrong with me that I'm still watching cartoons? Nope. You read the Shadow and Batman Dynamite series. They teased the Spider in that. Yes, I'm aware. I don't know why they didn't just do Dunk and Egg, but don't think they will. Candace versus Zelina happened last night. Oh, did it? Okay. I haven't seen it. Why do you think WWE didn't feature Daniel Bryan in 2011? I know they didn't view him as much at the time, but he was only on 4 pay-per-views that entire year, which is kind of weird when you think about it, because they didn't see anything in him. A lot of people hate the Incredible Hulk movie with Edward Norton, but I actually think that is a good underrated film. It is, and it's better than the first Hulk movie, and the and I don't think the first Hulk movie is horrible. It's just I don't think what they were trying to do worked. Does it still blow your mind that a WWE Hall of Famer is our president? I don't even think about it. Do you respect Dave Meltzer and value his opinion? Yes, I do. How awesome is Sailor Moon and why? You know what? I have a friend that used to watch Sailor Moon way back when. Um, I and I didn't like it much until they introduced her daughter that didn't realize she was her daughter. I thought that whole thing was pretty funny. Thoughts on UFC possibly going to only 6 pay-per-views a year? I think that's awesome. Um, Markeem, it's okay. It's okay. I got what they were trying to do. I did. And I'm not saying it's great. I'm just saying that it's I got what they were trying to do. It was Ang Lee trying to do a comic book movie. And it didn't work. I'm not saying it worked. McGregor, what the heck happened? As far as him being a crazy man, he's probably always been crazy. Favorite non-DC Marvel comic book movie? Are we talking like superhero comics, or are we just talking comic books in general? Because my favorite would be the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, because that is so much like the comics. It's awesome. Let's see. Not a Bernie fan, sorry. Oh, and if we're talking in general, Road to Perdition, I guess. Though I really like Ghost World, so who's our anime of all time? My top? Oh crap! I don't no idea, because like yes, Punisher is very underrated. I agree with that. Anime or when are you seeing Infinity War? Probably Saturday. I don't know. We'll see. Probably on a Saturday or Sunday. Oh, crazy. It's King Shamrock. And do you have enough of a budget to hire him as your bodyguard? No, I do not. Dragon Ball Z fan. I liked Dragon Ball Z until it got like one fight was a complete or the one part of a fight was a complete episode. Then it got stupid. Do you see Westworld first? Did you see Westworld? I did not. But actually, I take it back. I watched the first couple episodes, and it's one of those things that I don't like with modern TV, where you have to wait to actually find out what shit's about. I don't like that. Most overrated wrestler of all time. My buddy, because it was WrestleMania weekend and they were doing something in Houston, and he asked me this question. I guess you could say Lex Luger. I guess maybe Sid. I don't know. Have you ever seen the DC animated films other than the Killing Joke adaptation? Most of them have exceeded my expectations. My favorite are Dark Knight Returns. Dark Knight Returns is fucking awesome. Justice League War. I'm not a big fan of Justice League War. Under the Red Hood is absolutely great, because they ditched all the crappy parts of Red Hood. Do you play fighting games like Guilty War or Street Fighter? I play Street Fighter, never played Guilty War. I love the old SNK games. So, love the old SNK games. So yeah. Solo box office predictions. I'm saying 150 million opening weekend, and no one believes me. I could see that. The thing is people forget who actually directed it. I think it's going to be better than people think it's going to be. His name Ryu after the Street Fighter character. Go figure. Yep. Yeah. Nightmare Ballers, the fighting game guide. Have you played Smoosh Bros? Yes, I have. Very good. Very, very good, though. Every time I play it, it makes me wish that Power Stone was still a thing. Have you read Batman Gothic? No, I don't believe I have. Why do you who do you think are wrestlers that are marks for themselves? Uh, Off the top of my head, most of them probably, I would say, are probably that way. But I think you kind of have to be in certain aspects because it doesn't work. Do you still keep in contact with any of the old YouTubers? Yeah, you got one of them on here right now. So, for the most part, mainly through Twitter. So there is no reason to watch Raw now. No, there's no reason to watch Raw now. What do you think about X-Men and Fantastic Four film rights going back to Marvel did in 2019? It means we're getting House of M, as much as Marquine doesn't want to hear that. It's a great Grant Morrison Elseworlds song. I highly recommend it. I'm not the biggest Grant Morrison fan, so just letting you know. Do you think Reigns would be a bigger star if he was wrestling in the 80s or early 90s? Maybe, but it depends. I mean, I think he could be a huge star. It's just that they don't utilize him the way they need to. What's wrong with me on what's wrong with me on the fact that one of the greatest guilty pleasures is watching the Jerry Springer Show? I don't know. I mean, we all have guilty pleasures. Greatest horror movie of all time? Psycho is pretty freaking hard to beat, but I will say Nosferatu, the remake. So there you go. I think folks wouldn't understand the House of M. No, but they would mark out. They would mark out. They'd just be like, what the fuck? What's going on? Don't understand it. Just like they didn't understand when the big purple guy showed up in Avengers. I'm fearing Raw is gonna even be more unbearable following this shakeup. Possibly. Yes. The thing is Nosferatu's really, really, really fucking good, and the remake is just amazing. I have both films, so yeah. And I really like what Shadow of the Vampire. So there you go. At least it looks like him dying will be like what's his name from Astro City dying, which that's like perfect. Do you think that Hollywood will actually succeed in doing that Crow film? Which is maybe. I mean, Crow is actually a really good story, and it actually would make a really good film. So there you go. Was the military ever in your? Yes, it was. Ever watch Fearless Vampire Killers by Roman Polanski? It's a comedy horror. I don't watch a lot of Roman Polanski films, but that's just my own thing. Silver Agent, yes, Silver Agent. And they actually explained how he died. Yeah, that. I told Marquine that if that had been Cap, he'd be like crazy. I didn't even know about Firebase. What will it take for you to agree to be mentally tortured into watching a Mexican soap opera? I've watched Mexican soap operas. I lived in Houston, for God's sake. I didn't understand them, but I watched them. I was forced to watch them from other people. I got why they were. You could tell that they were good. Fox purchasing WWE. What's that all that? I'm not probably purchasing, just probably going to the network, just because it works. What are your unpopular opinions on wrestling? Unpopular opinions on wrestling. I don't know if I have any unpopular ones right at the moment. Um, what about the possibility of another Blade movie? It will be hard to top the first one with Wesley. I'd say it'd be hard to top the first two. To be honest, Wesley was perfect for that character. Um, so I think that's the thing, is he was pretty much perfect. I think we are more likely to get. Yeah, probably another Blade TV show. The first TV show wasn't horrible, so. Plus, if you do a Blade TV show, you can bring in like the other people that are not Ghost Rider. So, team have a chance of being relevant again. They have a chance. I don't know if they will, but they have a chance. But yeah, I could see them doing a Blade, because then you could do like the other like supernatural people. You could probably even do Morbius, really, maybe, if you wanted to. So, right, and all of the other like supernatural, you know. I just hope if they do it, they do like the good, they do the real Marvel version of Dracula, not what we got in the third movie. What do you think of the new Blade Runner movie? I liked it, actually. I kind of liked that they left it, that they did it in a way where you didn't know which ending they really used from the first movie. Should WWE or TNA hire Melissa Santos? They had. WWE had Melissa Santos. That's what's sad. What will it take for you to debate on you now? Huh? I don't know. We talk on freaking Twitter all the time, so. What's the better 20th Century Fox Marvel film? Logan. No question. If they ever turn Roman heel, could you see Guerrillas of Destiny as his backup? No, probably they would just use the Usos. I have no idea, to be honest. No idea whatsoever. Which obscure Marvel title could be a breakout hit at the box office like Guardians of the Galaxy? Let's see. Obscure. Squadron Supreme, probably, just because of what it's about. So, I would think so. Let's see. Author Supreme as Marines backup World War II. Yeah, you could do that. That's true. Did Spinnernet ever get some gas money for his car? No idea. I'm sure he probably did. What is your opinion on the John Wick films? I'm surprised that Keanu Reeves is the one making kick-ass 80s throwback action films. I liked the first two. I did, so we'll see about the third one. I hope they kind of go in a different direction on the third one. I remember coming home from school and watching your reviews. I have 2 kids and my age. Well, I want a Ravagers movie. You're not getting a Ravagers movie. You know this. Why? Why would they do a Ravagers movie? Do you think WWE would ever create a character like Muhammad Hassan, probably played by someone like Jinder Paul, discussing racism in America? No, I don't. What good current TV show would you recommend? I'd have watched almost no TV, so I'm not the person to ask about that. Yeah. I think the last thing I sat down and even binged watched was Netflix's redo of Berserk. So, why is it given into the PC garbage? Because the people giving them money want them to be. Any views on World Cup in Russia? Just as bad as the Olympics. The World Cup is. Thoughts on the Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt storyline from last fall? Was horrible. What is the best Marvel Netflix series to get into? I haven't seen any of them. Start with Daredevil and just go from there. That's where to go. I've heard that too, and I actually like kind of that. So, are you surprised that there's a little backlash? Yes, very surprised. Very, very, especially as more and more stuff comes out about that thing. I'm like shocked, to be honest. Better rise to superstardom. CM Punk, Summer of Punk covering from his pipe bomb promo, or Daniel Bryan's Yes movement. Daniel Bryan, because it actually went further, I would say. World War III in our lifetime, you think? No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't think you're ever going to have like a world. I don't think so. Not saying it couldn't happen, but I don't see it happening. I think there's too many big money players now, as far as that would keep it from being a world war. As bad as he killed Booker T. Possibly, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what they think about him. Do you think people should be more angry at WWE for going to Saudi Arabia than oppress a regime that oppresses its own citizens? Yes, I think they should be very upset about it, especially since the money. If what they said today on the stockholders call, that's not enough money to be dealing with Saudi Arabia. I mean, if it was like double that, yeah. I think the WWE thinks that they are doing what they feel is right for wrestling, or just hate their audiences. They're doing what they feel is right for WWE. There you go. He should have won. Yeah, he should have. You like the Botchmania chain? I think it's so funny. Yeah, when I watch it, it's pretty good. It's always been good. So. Did you watch all of The Gifted? The Gifted. No, I did not. But I heard it ended like crazy. Favorite crowd chant? Please don't stop. I think that one's pretty funny. Mania disrespectful to the performers? No, because it's a way for the fans to basically say "fuck you" to WWE. So I have no problem with it, really. Dude, I get why the wrestlers get pissed off about it, but really they should be getting pissed off at the people backstage. Who do you think is the greatest superstar that couldn't wrestle to save their lives? Who was really, really bad? Ahmed Johnson was pretty bad. What wrestlers do you think need to retire? I don't know. Is there a chance that it might be that Captain Final Episode Coma everything he lived all a dream and his legs were everything? What? I don't even. Captain. They had the Stepford was in it, and it actually worked. Oh yeah, I knew that they had done that. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, the one time it really did work was when when they did the, what was that, Morrison and Silvestri storyline. That worked. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I do think the summer of Punk still could have been saved after we came back if it went downhill after Nash. Well, yeah, after Nash got involved, it was stupid. I went to Raw last week, and Sasha vs. Bailey was awful. I heard it was not very good. Changed the channel during Batista vs. Big Show, and ECW Sci-Fi was my favorite. Yeah, that was pretty good. I forgot about that. Lex Luger was pretty bad too. Which wrestler do you think gets the most undeserved hate to the point that their lives would be in danger in real life? I don't think anybody right now. Were you an Ultimate Warrior fan, at least the character-wise? Yes, I was. Do you think Mario Ranella is a good wrestling governor? I think he's pretty good. He can get it. I can get why people think he's annoying, but I think given the choices we have, he's pretty good. What do you think about opportunity saying Triple H is a racist and use derogatory terms when referencing to it? Very possible, but who knows? Um, Alberto is an interesting individual. I think Maro's energy is very authentic. Yes, it is, and that comes through, and it bypasses a lot of his craziness. Most underrated year in WWE history, 2008. Probably, I could see that. Which match have you seen that was bad but was a guilty? Oh, easy. Undertaker versus Undertaker. Could NXT succeed on its own as far as making the casual fans want? No, no, because they can't. They don't. What do you think of All Hell Snow saying that Hogan Andre was the best match at WrestleMania 3? Do you understand? I get his perspective. Don't agree. What happened in 2008? I don't remember. That was like, let's see, 2008 would have been Cena and he's pretty good though, if I remember right. No, NXT does not make money, but they're not there to make money. Do people bury too much, or is it that bad about Tommy? He's pretty bad, but a lot of that has to do with what he's told to say. Thoughts on Lars Sullivan? He's pretty good. Is Enzo's career dead, or do you think that he might be able to be salvaged if he beats the allegations? Then yes, possibly, maybe. But it's still gonna be like he's gonna get like razzed or like to death. So who pied Kevin Owens? Do you think that Gargano will be the next Bryan? Maybe. This kind of depends. I mean, he's likable like Bryan, so I think that has something to do with it. When they let him react like an actual human. Yeah, exactly. The thing is he's told what to say and he just goes with it. What's your favorite DC animated movie? My favorite DC animated movie. That was a movie. The Batman Beyond: The Return of the Joker would probably be my favorite. I think. I'm sure Markeem will let me know if one that I'm missing, but I think pretty sure. Oh no, you know what? Well, no, I didn't like that as much as I was gonna say. Superman versus the Elite, but that I didn't like that as much as. Do you prefer the flips and kick stuff or the characters of professional wrestling? I like both equally. So, see, I'm not as big as Mask of the Phantasm as everybody else. That's the thing. I mean, it's good. It's awesome. Particularly considering what was coming out at the time, but with Batman. But I still. Tears whenever there is a big surprise. I remember Cole putting over that moment better than other commentators. Maybe. What is your biggest dump? Oh no, I take that back. A New Frontier. I forgot about A New Frontier. New Frontier is pretty freaking awesome. If you want a good DC movie, New Frontier is pretty fucking amazing. Feel bad for Batman Sub-Zero. That's a good movie that no one talks about. That's true. That's a really good too. That's really good too. I see that. You're late. I was never a big Seinfeld fan. 2008 had a lot of good stuff. Do you think that the Young Bucks not selling enough is a fair criticism? For the most part, yes, I think it's a fair criticism. But the thing is, then they go and then they do like selling, and then you're like, why can't you do this all the time? SmackDown during the SmackDown 6 era was the best of both worlds. Good and I would agree with that. Do you miss Texas? Is the cost of living cheaper? Well, I'm in Kansas City now. It was definitely cheaper in Oklahoma, but Oklahoma was at the same time. You think Dob and Jack will join the Undisputed Era? No. To the WWE, using Eddie Guerrero's death in the Rey Mysterio push was the most tasteless program I have done. What do you think could possibly top it as the most disgusting angle the company has done? If they went full on with the Vince Stephanie incest thing, it would have been pretty bad. Favorite lucha match of all time? Does the tag from Worlds Collide count? Because that was pretty freaking good. Do you ever jam out to entrance themes? If so, which ones? Let's see. Suzuki's, Asia Kong's, Road Warriors. There's a lot of them. Do you think Nigel did too many lariats? No, not really. Probably do one next week. I'm going to try and make this like a Thursday thing. Would it be cool to have a female commentator that drooled all over the male wrestlers like Jerry Lawler used? Probably not. People would probably get really upset with it. Have you listened to Tony Schiavone's podcast? A little bit, yeah. Masato Tanaka's theme is super great. This is true. His is, I see drunk spelling. I have still read it. Why do you not watch Chikara anymore? It got boring for the most part. It was just kind of like after they went on hiatus. It looks like it might be better now. I don't know. That's a double standard. It is a double standard, but it's a true double standard. You mentioned living in KC. Have you had Jack Stack barbecue? Yes, I've had Jack Stack, Bryant's, Gates. Went to Gates last weekend. I mean, you got more stuff here than anywhere. So, do you watch World of? Did you watch World of Sports? I've never seen much World of Sports. I watched a lot of UWFI. Do you think that ECW is overrated since so many wrestling fans name drop it as the greatest promotion when most probably didn't even see it back in the day? Probably a little bit, but it is what it is. Is Lucha Underground what Russo wanted to turn W7? Probably. Best of the best tournament. What is? I don't like any of the best tournaments. As a huge Chikara fan, quietly a hard reset. He was rehashing the same ideas. Yeah. Some of the stuff I've seen recently looks really good, but do you think Randy Orton isn't overrated as a wrestler? He's never had a great WrestleMania. I'm not a big Orton fan. You think Roman will beat Brock? Yes, I do think he will beat him at the Greatest Royal Rumble. By the way, how did people not understand? Why did people think that the Greatest Royal Rumble was just going to be a battle royal? Where did that craziness come from? Did people just not pay attention, or people just? I don't get it. I don't get why would you call it the Greatest Royal Rumble and then just have a what the fuck? Best 80s action movie. Terminator. Have you ever listened to an episode of Russo? No, I have not. Orton at times is fantastic though. At times, but then Favorite beer when is our drinking contest? I know Favorite beer? Favorite beer would be Shiner. If you could have been a wrestler, would you have been a face or heel? Probably a heel. Should WWE bring back War Games as one of the monthly pay-per-views? No. They should save it and only use it like every once in a while. Does the winner of the Greatest Room get anything? Supposedly, you would think, but they haven't said what it is. I guess it could be like the first Royal Rumble where they you didn't really get anything but a trophy, I think, and money. Oh! But yeah, if you're going to do War Games, you need to do War Games like every great once in a while. What promotions am I not watching that I need to watch? Don't know. I don't know what you watch. You should go back and watch like WrestleMania weekend. You should watch Bloodsport, Spring Break. I would say that. No, do not. How they use. Yes, exactly. Or it wasn't all the time. I can hear Chase telling me that too. Yeah, well, have you seen the documentary Before the Flood? Yes, I have. It's very good. Though I don't agree with everything they say because they leave stuff before. Through thoughts on PWG. I like PWG. Well, PWG is fun. I would probably really like PWG. They're live. The problem is their commentary is horrible. For one thing, and I don't know. There's just something about it that I'm not saying. Thoughts on the NFL? It's the NFL. What do you want me to say? Who would be considered the biggest a-holes among the legends in WWE? Don't know. Don't know. Don't know. Xbox or PlayStation? Xbox. Expand on your opinion about Before the Flood. Or game should only be sparingly. That's like going to take like an hour for me to explain all that. War games should only be used sparingly and on Survivor Series weekend. Yeah, pretty much. Live experience is a PW special. All the fans have a connection with the wrestlers like no other company. I could believe that. I could believe that. I'm glad they're going to a bigger building. That's cool. So, Resident Evil 2 or Silent Hill 2? Resident Evil 2. Though I enjoy Call of Cthulhu more. That's probably my favorite. Like, what match would you show a non-wrestling? What match would I show a non-wrestling fan? Bret Hart versus Austin from WrestleMania. That would be. You should grow out your hair. I might. That's up to my wife. What's the best wrestling encounter you've had with a wrestler? In Phoenix when we came out and Tyler Black and Chris Hero were just standing around and we got to talk to him for a little bit. That was pretty cool. Thought it was interesting. Makes me want to watch SmackDown where I didn't necessarily always want to watch SmackDown. Probably might just skip Raw altogether now. Please tell him to get out of the chat room. Why? What do you think of Al Snow bearing OVW? Can he turn? Oh, buying. I didn't know he bought it. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, OVW existed because it was the WWE developmental. So, yeah. What is the best WWE biography DVD Blu-ray? I had enjoyed both the Jake the Snake and Mick Foley ones. The ECW one is probably the best one, I would say. SmackDown has everyone I want to see minus Stephen Finn. Greatest WCW match of all time. The Sting's what in the 90 what's the was it Sting Squadron versus the Dangerous Alliance? That one, I think. How long will Smojo beats up The Miz? Probably not for a while. Favorite shoot interview? I don't know. What do you think of Will Ospreay? I like Will Ospreay a lot, so there we go. Are you a fan of ECW in 1999? Did you think the roster was on par with WWE? I wouldn't say on par. I did like it, though. It was changing. You could tell that they were changing just because guys were leaving and they were, so I did like it. For me, if we're talking about WCW. Yeah, Flair and Vader is pretty freaking awesome. You like what Billy Corgan? For the most part, yeah. It seems like he's doing a pretty good job, so there is that. Hey Marquine, since you're here, have you found anything else on the Neo Geo thing? What was ECW's biggest mistake? Not having Tommy Dreamer go over Raven for the title. There we go. That's their biggest mistake. That needed to happen. When they found out Raven was leaving, they needed to have that. So that should they bring back One Night Stands? No, they should not. Do you think Hogan cemented his legacy by being a top heel in wrestling? No, I think he was pretty much there already. ROH's biggest mistake. Not bringing in Zack Sabre Jr. when Daniel Bryan left. You can't go on with Flair versus Sting in '88 or the Flair versus Sting matches. Do you think it was for the best that Austin versus Hogan didn't happen? Probably. Was Hogan really booed in 1988? Yes, he was. When I fight it, go back and watch the Royal Rumble. He was not, Lizard Man. See, I don't think Lizard Man was bad at the start. It's just that he's now been there too long. So, who would win in a fight in real life? From what you know, King Haku or Stan Hansen? Probably Haku. Apparently, everything will be digital, and there will be a store added later on with games to buy. The list of games on the system haven't been released yet. Oh, okay. See, I want like everything. That's my thing. I want like all the like the crazy shit that they've never re-released. That I mean, there's so many fighting games people don't even realize that they made. Who would replace Lizard Man as the Booker of ROH? Who would you pick? I guess Christopher Daniels. I know he wants the job. So there is that. Eventually, we probably will get almost everything, I think. I would hope so. I mean, there's like some crazy shit on there that people don't remember. I mean, that's the thing. I don't need the Mojang games and the that sort of stuff, but all the shooters, like, oh my freaking god. What do you think of ROH? Blah, 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 blah. Do you think it was a mistake to not do Warrior Earthquake in the summer of '90? I don't even remember the summer of '90 and why if that would have been a mistake or not. So, what do you think of ROH? What can they do to get better? They need to hire someone that has a better eye for talent. And ROH seems like the greatest thing ever. Could be. I don't know. Thoughts on Barry the Bear in ROH? I think he's pretty funny. So there we go. I don't want to get my hopes up for the greatest Royal Rumble, but I think somebody awesome will win. That's possible. Do you like the What Happened When podcast when Tony Giovanni? And I never heard it, so couldn't tell you. Yes, I was a big Eddie Guerrero fan. I liked Eddie Guerrero a lot. It's good. See, I don't want to listen about old Nitros, though. That's the thing. And Tony gives some behind the scenes stuff. You watched Into the Badlands? I started to watch it, but then I stopped watching it. Favorite women's wrestler of all time? Miami Toyota. Favorite games on Sega back in the day. I wondered if someone might upgrade the property for PlayStation. Maybe. But there's stuff that's like that. What was your reaction to Scott Hall's debut on Nitro? Pretty much knew it was going to happen, so it wasn't like a big deal. So I'm sorry to say. That's no good. Did you Metzler comment about Bruno after? Which one? The one about him not being about the Madison Square Garden sellouts? The thing is if you actually go back and listen, Bruno would always be like he didn't believe those numbers either. He was big on like that type of thing. Black Tiger, Eddie Guerrero, possibly. Who is your favorite comment besides Gordon Soley? I already did this already. Rick B. Ross. Ever gonna upload through videos weekly again? Probably. I just haven't done it. My new job makes it very hard for me to do that, but I'll probably do it on the weekends and stuff. Thoughts on the movie The Wrestler? It was very good. I liked it. Are you gonna watch MLW? I'm going to try to watch MLW, so we'll see. The only interview thing that really floored me was the Hogan heel turn for about 3 months. That was surreal. Life is pretty good. Oh, Markeem, did you see my tweet about Neil Gaiman and about my 4-year-old? Did you ever play WWE Day of Reckoning? That is my favorite wrestling game. Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. I'm glad Tony Schiavone's back into wrestling again. I am too. I like that. What's Vince's biggest mistake? Believing Savage was too old to wrestle. There we go. Did you think that Lucha Underground had promise? Yes, I did. Well, I'm in Kansas City now, so it's midnight now. So, nah, I didn't. You didn't see. He retweeted it, and it's now been like retweeted like 100 or liked. It's been, let's see, it's been liked 100 and something times. It's been retweeted like forever too. It's crazy. Would Hogan turning heel in WWE have been huge? Yes, it would have been a big monster thing. Especially if it was done at the right time. Thoughts on Bill Watts' time running WCW? I think eventually it would have worked, but he was trying to run it not of what it needed to be. So there you go. Hogan's turning heel would have been top. I remember when you used to do the Q&A vids way back when, so now it's like being able to do it instead of delayed. Yeah, I would agree with that. When would you have turned Hogan heel in WWE? Probably, I think instead of Hogan beating, um, I would have turned Hogan heel against Brett. That's what I would have done. What will it take for you to follow on Twitter? Cheap plug. I don't know. What do you hate most about wrestling? The treating fans like they're stupid. I'm not officially U.S. wrestling. It doesn't really happen in Japan, but I'm not a big fan of that at all, to be honest. Who would have been the best third man in NWO if Hogan wasn't available? DDP. Are you going to bring your TNA Superfan character back? No, I don't have plans on it yet. I'd have to start watching TNA again. What do you love the most about wrestling? I guess the drama of it when it's really, really good. So I would say, are there, and there are no more coherent storylines anymore either. Kansas, why Kansas? Missouri, not Kansas. This is where I was actually born in Kansas City, moved to Houston when I was 13, um, and then when my mom passed away when I was about 34, about a year later, my dad moved back up here, and then when I got married, moved to Oklahoma City, and then my wife was like, "Why don't we move closer to your dad?" So then we moved closer to my dad. So there we go. How would you book a heel turn for Reigns? I just had him just start cutting promos on the fans. Do you care at all about Solo? Because I don't. I do, but I don't. And the thing is, I think it might actually be good because of who's directing it. So, what do you make of Triple H in his current role? Do you think he's doing a good job? I think he's doing an okay job. Are you worried that Infinity War is going to have too much comedy? It's a possibility, but we will see. How much better will the WWE be without Vince? Amazingly, a whole lot better. If Chase was here, he'd write a whole like synopsis on why it will be better. Is it way past time to turn Cena heel? I don't know. I don't think so. Even Cornette praised him. Triple H, that is. What happened with Michael Keaton? Huh? Can New Japan Pro Wrestling be successful in U.S. markets? Yes, I believe it can be. It has been. Top 5 wrestlers currently: Okada, Omega, AJ, Naito, Cien Almas, I'll say. I went to New Japan in Long Beach, and the atmosphere was amazing. Ron, what about Ron? Do you think Colt Cabana will ever go to WWE? No. Best work experience meeting a wrestler. Best was meeting Tyler Black and Chris Hero outside after WrestleMania in Phoenix. Worst. What was the worst? So my uncle used to live next to Butch Reed, and during the summer when we would come up here, we would go over to his house, and they had a party one time, and meeting Harley Race one time was not the best experience ever. Um, top 5. Your Mount Rushmore of wrestling. Let's see. Hogan, Inoki, Inoki, I can't think of his name. Hogan, Inoki, Fez. Hogan, Inoki, Fez, and the original Gotch. Let's see. Because it wasn't awesome, and then he got Vega, and then it became like amazing. I'm not a big Sammy fan. Who was the best wrestler to master both Lucha Libre? Probably either Ultimo Dragon or Liger. Have you ever seen Hogan? Yes, I have seen him wrestle in Japan. He's not that much better in Japan, but it's better than. Who's a better tag team? Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, or the Hardy Boys? I'll go with the Dudleys because I like the Dudleys more. But there we go. That's my thoughts on the ROH Women's title. Did you like the Festival of Friendship? I did like the Festival of Friendship. Can Zack Sabre Jr. succeed in WWE? Probably not. Why do you think Hogan couldn't make it in Hollywood like The Rock did? Because I don't think he picked the right stuff to be in, where I think Rock and Cena both have been like, we're not going to do what Hogan did, we're going to do this instead. Let's see. The initial heel turn of Hogan was a big one. Actually, I will admit this, and people will be like, "You're crazy," but when Warrior showed up, I really liked that too. That's probably it. When Scott Hall came in, yeah. Magnum TA was awesome. I liked the opening promo. I liked that. The rest of it was stupid, but I liked that when he showed up for the first time, that was pretty cool. Does Vince Russo get undeserved criticism because the ratings were going down before he got there? It was not him. He just didn't make it any better. It is horrible, but I liked it. Could Magnum have been as big as Hogan? Probably not. Let's see what else. That's it. It is long. I agree. It's way too long. Who was the most charismatic wrestler? Who is the most charismatic wrestler in the world today? Probably Tanahashi, maybe Cena. One of them two. Favorite non-DC Marvel comic book villain? Holy shit. Let's see. Does the Darkness count as a villain? I'm going to say he counts as a villain. So yes, him. Let's get drunk. It's long and terrible. Why do people criticize Cena's move set when most wrestlers? I have no idea. I've always asked that. Magnum's what WWE wants Roman to be. Yes, it's exactly what he wants Roman to be. Thoughts on Gino Hernandez? I never saw much of Gino Hernandez, so I couldn't tell you. But so, is Sting overrated considering he did not draw big in 90 when he won? You could definitely make that argument. What's missing from wrestling today? Realness. Are you a fan of David Lynch? Yes, I am. Darkness doesn't count. Yeah, Saint Killer. But okay, if Saint of Killers counts, then Darkness counts. And you know that I'm right on that. Okay, so let me find another D. Let's see. D. Oh, the four. The four are yes. Though that there is your non-decent. The four. There you go. That was definitely too long. Yes, everybody knows that. Have you read or seen? I have not seen it yet. Some wrestlers only had like 3 moves. Promos, managers, missing stuff. Yeah, managers definitely. Her favorite book. My favorite book is Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. He's not an anti-hero at the end. He's full on like from Planetary. Yes, from Planetary. Raw should only be 1 hour, and NXT should be 2. No. Do you think the WWE would be doing bad? They never created the network. No, I think they'd probably be fine because there's pay-per-views that they would actually make more money on than they make on the network. So monthly, but there's some that they'd probably be a wash. Are you a fan of Elric of Melon? You know what? I've tried to read that stuff, and I've just never been able to get into it. I should really like it because it's stuff that's right up my alley, but it's just not my thing for some reason. I don't know why. Did you? Yes, Black Panther was awesome. If you opened your own wrestling promotion and you WrestleMania happened tomorrow with roster as of today, if you've seen the shakeup, who would be who would I would do AJ and Joe, and probably still do Brock and no, I would do Brock and Braun probably. What do you think of the Walking TV show? I was never a fan of it to start with. So, your favorite non-Marvel DC villain, AMC, just butcher. You knew that was going to happen, though. You knew that was going to happen. How do you think Roman will feud with when he wins the universe? I have no idea. No idea whatsoever who he's going to feud with, because the guy that we thought he was going to feud with, Joe, they changed their mind on. So there you go. Why is Vince McMahon so stubborn? Because he's old and stubborn. That's why. Brock Lesnar versus Vader in a match with both being who is the alpha? Probably still Brock, because Brock really resigned for a very short term just to drop the title in Saudi Arabia. I think it's hard to transition to go from New Japan to WWE. No, I don't. They make it harder than it is. Darkstalkers is awesome. Yes. That is such an underrated series. Have you been asked this already? Do you think that fake Roman return of the video, and do you think he will ever? I don't think he'll ever return. So, I've not seen the Andre documentary. Nokiaism or Brawl for All, which did the most damage? Nokiaism, no question. Brawl for All just was very short term. So, and the thing about the shakeup is we're getting Mahal versus Reigns eventually. Oh my God, I hadn't even thought. Oh, why? Oh, that's nauseating. Have you seen the second Fatal Fury anime show? Is the second one the one where they go to Greece and Terry falls in love with the girl that ends up dying at the end? Is that the second one? What do you think of Roman? It takes place after after actual Fatal Fury 2. What do you think of Roman being on SmackDown and being the leader of the heel stable with the Usos? I like that idea. Do you think the WWE has lost a lot of their younger audience? They've lost tons of their younger audience. Brawl for All was Russo's way of exposing JBL as a fake. He said it wasn't his idea. It was JR's idea. Yeah, it wasn't bad when it first came, but it's not. It's weird because it's just like people show up. It's kind of like the Street Fighter. Was it Street Fighter V series? It's kind of like that from like the early '90s. Do you see? Yes, Stranger Things is awesome. Do you think ECW made a mistake going to TV? No, you have to go on TV, especially then. There's no whatever. How else were people going to see your stuff? Why does everyone shit on Mahal? He cuts pretty good promos, and if they let him loose, he could cut even better promos because he eventually has to get into the ring, and he's just okay in the ring. He could be good, but they pushed him too hard. I mean, that's the thing. So everyone's just like, when he gets in the ring. It's like Elias. People get like crazy for Elias, but then once he gets in the ring, everyone's like, because there are so many dudes better. I do agree that Jinder's solid as an actual character. Thoughts on Cody Hall? He was good until he got hurt. That's another problem. They either push too hard or they don't push the ones they should push. Exactly. They don't let things naturally happen. Unfortunately, do you think if Raven didn't pull the stunt, Kurt Angle would have signed to ECW? Probably. I think so. At least for a year, probably. Instead of going to OVW. They pick a guy and they go nuts. Is Cody Rhodes the best heel in wrestling? Yes. Currently, he's the best true heel in wrestling. Who would you book in the main event for next year's WrestleMania? Answered this earlier. I would do Ronda versus either Asuka or Charlotte. Best promo ever, in your opinion? The Horsemen reuniting promo on WCW. That was pretty freaking awesome. Joe versus Styles or Joe versus Bryan or Bryan versus Styles at SummerSlam. I would say Joe versus Bryan. Who is the biggest missed opportunity on talent by WWE? I mean, on a guy that completely failed to capitalize on, like Raven in 2001. Adam Bomb, maybe? Favorite Ric Flair match? My favorite Ric Flair match is the Vader Flair match. Or the Montreal Screwjob. Which fuck up was worse? The Starrcade 97. Taz. I forgot about Taz. Yeah, that's true. WWE using Danielson to get big is awful. If that's what they do, then yeah. Hogan's WCW heel promo was pretty awesome too. Cody could have really elevated the NWA title had he not signed to ROH. Are you 47? No, I'm 43. Thoughts on Nash ending both Wrath and Goldberg streak in WCW? It was Nash being Nash. Do you think Bret Hart takes himself too serious? A little bit. What should have WCW done with Goldberg. I would have let him kept going and then had somebody eventually was going to beat him. But it needed to be like a fluky beat or something like that, and then have Goldberg basically chase, do a chase again. One of the Jimmy Jacobs Age of the Fall stuff was up there. That's pretty sweet too. Do you enjoy Goldberg's 2000s? Yes, I did. Who should have beat Goldberg? Who was in the? You could probably say Hogan should have beat him. That might work. Or Flair. You could have had Flair beat him. Maybe. Do you think Bryan will stay with WWE now? That the thing is that when Goldberg was on his run, the NWO should have ran his course. Do you think Bryan will stay with them now that he's allowed to wrestle? Or do you say he could leave? Just depends. Biggest ROH star they should have capitalized on, but didn't. I don't know. Rollins. They did on Rollins though. Thoughts on John Cena and Nikki Bella breaking up? Doesn't surprise me. The NWO got way too big to the end. They should have never let it. It shouldn't have gone that long either. It didn't need to go forever. I haven't seen Impact in forever, so couldn't tell you. Oh, could not tell you. ROH had Keith Lee. They did have Keith Lee for a little bit, but then he left, and this never went. Then I think the WWE thing happened, and then he never came back. Whatever happened to Monty Brown? That dude couldn't start. He left for family reasons, and then went and became a personal trainer, I think. Just me, or is Sammy and Kevin really bad heels on WWE? I wouldn't say they're bad heels. They're just like, they waited too long to get their shit together. Yeah, that's true. Biggest star they could have had to me was Roddy, but they went too late with him. Maybe I don't know. Roddy as a top guy is the thing. So yeah, his sister died, and then he left, and this never came back. Biggest work in the business, and your biggest work in the I have no idea. Him as a babyface champ would have been amazing. Now, TNA not going with Monty Brown. That was probably the biggest mistake in TNA's history, without question. He didn't want to travel, apparently. Who should Undertaker next? Someone. I think he's done. What should Shawn Michaels versus Cena? What's that for Shawn Michaels? Cena, Shawn Michaels. Shawn versus Taker. WrestleMania 9 or WrestleMania 11? 9. Should have been the face of that. Yes. Speaking of which, Marquine, what just as since we have video game fans here, most underrated fighting game of all time. And see, the thing is, if you go with Monty and you actually push him and you build him up to face Joe, and then you magically get Kurt Angle at the same time, you have this convergence of awesomeness. You have three dudes that you can just do as like three badasses. Favorite fighting game character? Fei-Long from Street Fighter. Summer Showdown 2 is pretty freaking great. This is true. Especially since they get overlooked because of whatchamacallit. I can't think of the other sword fighting game. Not a fan of Entourage. Is it that much different than any other King of Fighters, though? Favorite movie about wrestling? The Wrestler, probably. Biggest ending fucked up on TV. Seinfeld. Okay. Do I have 14? I might have 14. No. Seinfeld was worse. Thoughts on Kushida? I like Kushida a lot. Underrated. I don't watch TV, so I don't know. Babylon 5. I loved Babylon 5 until the last 2 seasons, which I later found out why I didn't like the last 2 seasons, because they basically rushed everything. But yeah. Learning patience. I love that. Worst wrestling news site? I don't know. I don't pay attention to many wrestling news sites, so couldn't tell you. I would say any of the ones that just like listen to like the Observer radios and just like, I don't know, completely like take stuff out of context. You have a bunch of sites that's all they do. Small or bad. This is true. I would. This is if I was a fan of that show, I would be like so pissed at the end of that show. Wire is pretty good. I agree with that. I think it's something that they generally like doing, but it's kind of eh. Yeah, I heard Dexter didn't have a good ending. Thoughts on The Flash on CW? I don't watch The Flash, but I've heard it's really good. This trilogy, Back to the Future 1 to 3, or the Dark Knight trilogy? The Dark Knight trilogy. I'm not a big fan of Back to the Future 2. ZCW to blame for the current smarky type of audience who try to hijack shows. Perhaps, but I don't see anything necessarily wrong with it. Has been so it's like it's turned into Arrow. What is your opinion on Dantes taking your world title? And I don't even know what you're talking about. Are you following the Syrian Revolution and the a bit? It's hard to follow because the only places that really cover it aren't necessarily the best news places, so it's hard. And I mean, it's all just, you know, it's everything that we know is wrong with Saudi Arabia. It's everything you know that's wrong with in the Middle East as a whole. It's all just ugh. Favorite non-cartoon TV show of all time would be it might be the original Battlestar Galactica. I love that shit. As crappy as it is, I love it. Superman 1's ending is terrible, but otherwise it's a good superhero film for its time. What's Super 1? I don't remember. Don't remember. 2 seasons of Arrow have been great though. Which cartoon series has been running on air too long? The Simpsons or South Park? I haven't seen either in so long. I would probably say The Simpsons. The thing with South Park is I could see those guys just continually churning those out in the 70s. Where he goes back in time and everything's fine. I think that's like a perfect ending to a Superman movie. Thoughts on Rick and Morty? I never really watched Rick and Morty, so couldn't tell you. Heard it's really good though. I probably like it because I really like Gravity Falls. So love Gravity Falls. Gravity Falls is good. Is good stuff. Of course, now I'm having to watch freaking Mad Men. I always thought Mad Men was overrated. I know what happened, but it's hard to keep. It's hard to like actually keep up with everything. Thoughts on him? I like him as Superman. He just the people making the Superman movies don't understand Superman. Yes, it's like there's good stuff, but yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not. It's like to do anything you want, zero consequences. What would you do? I don't know. I do not know. Don't do this tonight. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's not really good, but it's just I don't like the pacing of it. Is all. I just don't like the pacing of the show. My wife loves it. Absolutely adores it. And I did love the ending of that. I thought the ending to Mad Men was excellent. So I don't like this. To me, Mad Men does this throughout the whole show. I don't like that. I want this in my shows. I don't know. I really liked the ending of Battlestar Galactica, the newer one. I thought that was really good. It's the Spider-Man. I've seen some of it. Yes. Is the cause of the such a reality? Yes, because it's cheap. It's cheap to make. That's the thing. If you ever for New Japan, which would you pick? It would probably be WWE because I wouldn't have to travel. Can you bench press? I don't know. I haven't bench pressed in like forever. Best Marvel comic for someone who has never read a comic. Squadron Supreme. Have you seen it? I have not seen the reboot of DuckTales. I was never. DuckTales was a little like beyond me. I was more into like gargoyles. So stories that you thought you wouldn't like but ended up loving. I can't think of one off the top of my head. Is becoming I know which one. A series that I didn't think I would like was when Clone Wars first started. Yeah. Is becoming like Uncle Stan in your plans? No, it is not. Is that an elimination chamber behind you? Oh, that no, that's just so you don't see all the crap behind the curtain. Why is the support the troops mantra so prevalent with the U.S. when the military is often because people don't pay attention to that. Spider-Man 90s or X-Men 90s? Which one was better? I think the Spider-Man cartoon was consistently better. I think the X-Men had higher peaks, but I don't think it was always better. You miss Saturday morning cartoons on USA Morning Cartoons? Like, yes, I do actually. Have you watched Legends of the Galactic Heroes? No, I have not. I'm talking the cartoons, not comics. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Huh? I remember doing it at Cartoon Express. I do too. I thought I hate Clone Wars. The 2001, not the 2008 Clone Wars, right? DCU was created a Superman with no soul. Superman character they show is not likable at all. Thoughts on Scooby-Doo? Love Scooby-Doo. Love the newest Love the not the newest Scooby-Doo cartoon. Well, let's see. I like the one where it's like all like Lovecraftian, whichever one. I don't know if that's the newest one or not. I think there was one after that one, but I've always loved Scooby-Doo. Any fantasies you wouldn't be fantasies? Not really. I think both are overrated. Yeah, I said they're overrated now. I bet at the time they were awesome. Favorite Batman animated series? The one where they basically have all the different versions of Batman. I love that episode. If you were to debate, I don't know who this is. I don't know who Dom Tess is. Have you seen the Kiss Meet Scooby-Doo? I have not seen that. Why has WWE using Sasha Banks on the main roster? She cuts great promos and probably because Mr. Dunn does not like her as much as he likes somebody else. Did you enjoy the live action Ninja Turtles movie from the 1990s? The first the first movie is absolutely awesome, and every comic book, it is probably the most underrated comic book movie ever. I will say that. Because people don't understand what that is. Can ROH do anything to get back to the level that they were in the earlier days? Where's the ship sailed? They're actually drawing better. They're doing better business. I mean, I know people don't like it as much, but it is what it is. Almost got it. Best Justice League episode that is not a final. The one where they think they killed Darkseid because of that line at the end. Thoughts on Final Fantasy? I stopped liking Final Fantasy after 10. Hey, Truth, what do you think about? I don't know. I would not say that. My favorite is Wild Cards. The cartoon? Wild Cards. Oh, Wild Cards. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of something else. I did. It was. I've seen both of them actually. Or yeah. Thoughts on Shawshank Redemption? It's good, but it's not as good as I think everyone thinks it is. Who would you say burned more bridges in wrestling, Jim Cornette or New Jack? Jim Cornette. New Jack didn't have a lot of bridges to burn, anyways. I was thinking about Wildcats. Yes, that show. Ugh. Oh, that one's really good too. That one's really good too. Yes, Wildcats does need to come back. That's actually. Yes, it did have a pretty cool theme song, but yeah. Becoming a public traded company was what hurt the company. How did that hurt? Because it didn't change anything with the company, really. because the people that own most of the stock, like the public, all own such a small fraction of the stock. It's not funny. Podcast was rumored to come back, but I think it was just a rumor. Moved to El Paso to enjoy Saturday morning in Spanish. In your opinion, what is more interesting, Batman or Batman's Rogue Gallery? No, I think one of the things with his is probably Batman's Rogue Gallery works because Batman is good. Courage is also not really good. It's fun too. Oh, Courage the Cowardly the Dog? Yeah. Did you see Creed? I thought that was the movie that was good. I thought it was good. I don't know how good other needs to come. Darkwing Duck needs to come. I never was back into I was never big into Darkwing Duck. Josh, have you seen the? I have not seen the new reboot. Is it good? Is it bad? Oh, that's god awful. Does not sound good. Who is your favorite pony for My Little Pony? See, since I have to actually watch My Little Pony, because of my daughters. I don't know. I guess Fluttershy would probably be my favorite. Have you seen Lego Batman? I have not seen Lego Batman. I don't like the new DuckTales. It's going over like crazy, but I don't like it. It's horrible. Horrible. See, how do you screw that up? It's a pretty basic. You think the New Day should break up? No, I don't think they should break up. I'm surprised that no one has tried to do another Masters of the Universe. They're in talks of doing another Masters of the Universe. They're the same. Magic School Bus reboot is awful too. I was never. That was beyond me. They made it in Flash instead of traditional animation. What? They made what in Flash? Reboot? Or DuckTales? Oh, I figured they would be. They should just bring back gargoyles and be done with it. That's what they should do. Herman. Oh, He-Man. I don't know. Find somebody that's not known. What are your thoughts on Are you looking forward to the upcoming? I'm very blah about the new Han Solo movie, but I bet it's probably better than people think it's gonna be. I can't really think of a bad Ron Howard movie, so do you think the UFC will decline with the lack of star power? Actually, I think that once they get this new TV deal, if it's what everyone says it is, they're probably actually going to wind up doing very well. Fan of the Metal Gear series? Yes and no. I sometimes think the Metal Gear series thinks too highly of itself, but I like it overall. Real Adventures of Johnny Quest should come back now. Questworld would be awesome. This is true. The real world, Johnny Quest would be kind of awesome now. Best Teen Titans episode. I didn't watch Teen Titans all that much, so I couldn't tell you. At least the good Teen Titans. I hate Teen Titans Go. Any episode with the amazing WWE needs someone like Conor McGregor. Yes, they do. There's no question about that. But yes, the Johnny Quest needs to come back as well. See, what I would like to see them do, if you want, is I would just bring back all of the Hanna-Barbera hero cartoons and do it where Johnny Quest is the central, either Johnny Quest or Blue Falcon are either the central, and they're running around and they're trying to, and Dr. Quest is actually bringing in a bunch of the team the team groups into like one big group. Except that the Scooby Gang is too young to join the thing, and they're annoying, even though they keep getting everything right. I think that would be kind of like cool myself, but there we go. Let's see. You haven't finished Young Justice? Yeah, I finished Young Justice. What Future Quest is? Have you seen? Is that what it is right now? Have you seen Dragon Ball Z Abridged? No, I have not. What do you think about? What? There was a time when Jiren did a crossover. I didn't know that. Daria could be amazing now if done right. Maybe. I could maybe. The Hanna-Barbera. Is Killing Joke the most overrated comic of all time? No, it is not the most overrated comic of all time. No. Not really. One big cartoon series that I never could get into was Family Guy. I know it has been a huge hit for many, but I never found it funny. I find some of it funny. It's very, very hit or miss to me. It's very, very hit or miss. Who's Killer Joe? There, I said. Yeah, it's basically the same Quest family, the Herculoids, Birdman, and Space Ghosts as like Justice. See, I would do like the Quest family, the Speed Buggy folks, the team that had the ghost. I can't think of them. And maybe do like some weird version of Captain Caveman and or no, yeah, do like Captain Caveman and the girls and make them all like make everybody kind of like scientists. And then you have like the Scooby Gang who are like on the outs and they keep trying to like get into the thing and they can't, but they're the ones that like always show up and end up being like the thing. And then have have Blue Falcon be kind of not as over the top, but be more like he was in Mystery Incorporated. I think that would work. I think that would work very cool. Southern Finland became so far on the thoughts on the Three Stooges. Love the Three Stooges. Should DC movies be R-rated? No. It seems like Seth Rollins is missing something in WWE. Which did WWE mess up worse? Batman versus Superman, Suicide Squad, or Justice League? Batman versus Superman. What will it take for a human to finally be born on Mars? I don't know. Captain Caveman was the best part of Flintstones Kids. They just introduced Blue Falcon. Oh, did they? Kind of have the Scooby Gang be like what's his name from The Incredibles at the start of the kid from The Incredibles, but actually make him. I know there's like. Well, basically make them like the Mystery Incorporated kids, and they keep like getting stuff right. So Freakazoid needs to come back. You mean Dash, right? Did you notice most casual fans can't stand him as Batman and diehards love him as Batman? He works as Batman. Should Hollywood stop trying to reboot the Terminator franchise? I would say, see, the thing is, I think that the idea behind the last reboot was actually not a bad idea. It just, the follow through was not very good, but the idea was actually pretty good. So, pretty much, I would say yes, he's the best overall Batman, which is funny because any thoughts on Captain Underpants? Never, never seen it or read it. Also on Full House, I love that show. Never was a fan of Full House. So, Kevin Affleck's second. See, my only thing with Suicide Squad was that I really thought it should have been a precursor to Justice League, where they were actually fighting like parademons and stuff. And the other thing I would have done is I would have introduced Team 13, or not Team 13, Team 7, just because I think it would have worked, especially with Waller. So, but the Expendables seemed like an 80s action movie fans, but all three. See, I liked all three of them, so never really liked the Adam West Batman show, even when I was a kid. Could Michael Keaton pull off Batman Night Dark Knight Returns live action? I don't think so, because the thing with maybe if you did it right, but I don't think so. But not as great as. Thoughts on Fresh Prince? And it was alright. Any thoughts on Beetlejuice? I liked Beetlejuice. Who should take over for Joker in the DC if Mark stops doing the voice? Did you like anime? I didn't really like Animaniacs that much. I didn't like Freakazoid that much either. That was like beyond. That was a little like past my time. Yeah, exactly. What Markeem said. Did you enjoy the? I never watched it. I love the original movie though, because I get what it is. I don't think people get that it's supposed to be kind of funny. I don't think people get that, and it's supposed to be over the top because it's supposed to be like so. And I know the remake's not like that, so I don't know if I would like it. Worst superhero live action show. Live action show. There was a pilot for the Justice Society, I think, back in the 90s that was really bad. So that would probably be that. If Ben Affleck stays as Batman, I want to see Matt Damon as Jason Todd. That would be funny. Is that the new one where he goes into the future? Or is that just a new... I know there's a new one where he... Isn't there a newer, like, him versus... what is that one? Is that the new him versus Terminator one? Or am I thinking of something different? You told me this before that I need to read it. You should check up Starburst. I've seen Starburst. Starburst is pretty good. Birds of Prey TV was really... Yeah, I actually really liked it too. You know what's probably the most underrated TV show, superhero TV show that probably nobody on here, but maybe Markeem has ever seen, is Witchblade. That show should not have worked at all, and it was absolutely awesome. It's too bad it only went one season. My God. Thoughts on Back to the Future 3 being the greatest Western movie of all time? I think not. Okay. This is supposed to push to be a Dread Netflix series. Carl Urban has said that he wants to reprise. I would be fine with that. I like the movie. What anime? What anime? The anime. The anime of what? Oh, the Witchblade anime? No. There's an actual TV show. The anime's okay. No, the anime is okay. There was an actual 90s TV show. I think it was 90s, might have been early 2000s of Witchblade, and it's amazingly good. They even like hinted at like stuff. Have you seen Ash versus? No, I've never seen Ash versus the Evil Dead. Never, ever, 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 ever. I have pretty much everything to do. I love that show. So, Witchblade was amazing. No, he outlived all of the folks from his timeline, but the OCP AI is back and more advanced, and he like a defeated old cop with a deleted obsolete technology. Oh, that sounds awesome. Mortal Kombat live action show was pretty good. There was a Mortal Kombat live action show? I never remember most polarizing comic arc ever. Polarizing. Polarizing. I don't know. Polarizing. Yeah, Final Crisis would be. That's a good one. Yeah, because that last. Yeah, Final Crisis. What Markeem said. Yeah. The original Secret Wars maybe too, because people either really hate it or really like it. So I have to look at this Mortal Kombat live action show. Maybe. I'm sure it's horrible. When the most polarizing is the Roman Reigns of comics. Maximum Clonage? What's Maximum Clonage? There's a live action Mortal Kombat series on Blu-ray. My pleasure on why and the guy who is the villain of the first movie was on it. Thoughts on Breaking Bad? Breaking Bad's good. When that show was at its peak, I was working with a public defender, so yeah, I've seen the web series. The web series is like really. No, I have not. I know of it, but I've not seen it. No. See, I don't think they ever should have said who the real Spider-Man is, but I do think that whoever was going to be the Scarlet Spider should have joined the X-Men at that time. I'm weird in thinking that, but I think that's what they should have done. Or have him join the Fantastic Four at the time, so that he was still part of the Marvel Universe. Hang on, read. On The Exorcist. The original movie was awesome. Second movie was okay. Third movie was pretty good. So what's so odd? Ben Reilly joining like stuff? It would have been fine. Do you think the running holds mainly the first? I think they hold up pretty well. They're very much. The first one is very much Spider-Man. And Lyle was the main character of the live action. I think I do remember that. Yes, Ben Reilly and the X-Men. Would you rather him be an Avenger? No. I don't know. Thoughts on Val Kilmer being Batman? That was a horrible movie. Scarlet Spider's last series was good. What action, fantasy, horror films would benefit from an adaptation to a comic book series to meet John Cruz They Live? That would be good. Um, Aliens was awesome back in the day, as was Predator. Um, I hear John Wick's pretty good. Maybe the oh, Kilmer's fine. That movie was shit. Let's see. What movie did you enjoy? The Mask. The Jim Carrey movie. Jim Carrey movie's good. So is some other. There's another movie called The Mask too. That's good. Catwoman or Batman. Catwoman's pretty shitty. Fight Club 2 was an insane. Yes, that was an insane comic book series. It finished. It ended the way I thought it would end, though. All right, it's been 3 hours. I think it's time for me to shove off. I appreciate everybody showing up. You are Markeen Red Hack. It's like I love hack and slash. Hack and slash is awesome. That is. I have not read the newest series though, so I don't know. I don't know. He's now a wrestler actually in the UK. Yeah, hack and slash is good, good stuff. I like hack and slash a lot. I got worried that the end was going to be of the original series, but it actually turned out pretty good. Like I said, I haven't read the new one, so I don't know. But anyways, as I said, it's been 3 hours. I think I've talked long enough, especially sometimes sick. Thank you for. Like I said, I can do this on Thursdays. This is not. I could actually go for another like 4 hours if I really want to, but I'm not going to. If you had the chance, would you like to be part of Fight Club? No, no, I would not. I would not. But anyways, okay. So with that, thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm gonna try to do this every Thursday, probably about the same time because that's a good time for me. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good one. Later. Yeah, we've been talking wrestling for 3 hours. What are you talking about? Anyways, have a good one.